Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good evening everybody. It is the 24th and it is Monday. I hope everybody had a really good weekend and the sun's shining bright where we are in the Northwest. And yeah, Sasquatch and I are going to go golfing, maybe this weekend. Anyway, look. Back to the Dinar. The Federal Finance Ministry completes the audit of employee lists and awaits receipts of revenues from the region, which is, if everybody should know, that's the Kurdistan region. We've been talking about this for quite some time, and they've been talking about it ad nauseum. But hey, the bottom line is that there was a conflict between the center, which is Baghdad, and the region. And what was it about? Probably inaccurate data, and inaccurate data is not going to fly in a digital world anymore, and they need to have it right. And so I think finally the Kurdistan region finally gets the picture. So anyway, it says here that the audit of March salaries has been completed. That's so they audited, so they did get it, audited it. And all that remains is for the regional government to send the non-oil revenues, which is obviously money, for March itself. But the region has pledged to send the funds within the coming days. So granted, they say the coming days, which we all know could be a lot of things. So anyway, they talk about how much it is. They talk about they'll announce these disbursement schedule, the distribution of it. They'll do all that, and they're hoping that it'll be paid before Eid al-Fitr. So anyway, we'll see how that turns out. And they talked about this yesterday. They go on and says the Ministry of Finance of Economy, which is the Ministry of Finance of Economy is the Kurdistan region. They state that the technical team responsible for receiving funds for March 2025 salaries has reached the final stages of its procedures, and that the team in Baghdad has been there for about 5 days in the cooperation with the Budget and Accounting Department, the Federal Ministry of Finance. So everybody's working together. So that's the Kurdistan region, the center, and Baghdad. And what they're all talking about for the last 5 days, they should have accomplished a lot in 5 days. But what are they doing? They're talking about to complete the salary dispatch, the dispatch. So I guess that's distribution and their procedures. So this minister goes on and says all funding procedures have reached their final stages, and it is expected that the March salary funding will be deposited into the ministry's bank account in the Kurdistan region soon. So coming days and soon, again, it means a lot, but hopefully since they've been working at it for 5 days, it should be something that's finalization time as far as I can tell. So to me, the push is on. That's what it looks like. Will they get funded this week? I mean, getting all of it to a certain level, but hey, the money, show me the money, which is being funded. I guess it's basically to be determined. This week or sooner could be the exposure of their results on what they're doing. I'm pretty optimistic because of all the other things that have been happening in this digital transformation that Iraq's going through. So you can see the push. You can see how many things that have been happening. I'm just going to reflect on that single window. We're going to talk about that a little bit. It's still in the news, so keep it in mind. So here's an article, the Parliamentary confirmation of the resumption of the parliamentary sessions. So I think they went on a hiatus because they couldn't agree, right? You guys got to realize that there's a lot of blowback from these different tribals, factions, all kinds of different things. But the cash cow, which was the parallel market, is going to go away. And a lot of that money, grift or graft, however you want to call it, is going to go away. And so it's going to be a painful situation for a lot of people, but it's going to be a big blessing to the citizens, I think. So again, the parliamentary confirmation of the resumption of parliamentary sessions and calling on the government to expedite the submission of the budget schedules. The budget schedules, you guys, they have to have the 23-24 budget schedules completed prior to ever getting that to the parliament. So I think we need to focus in on that and remember what we've been talking about. I think it's going to hold true, and we haven't deviated from that. There has to be a good reason, which is something that's very sensitive if they haven't done that yet. And so we're going to watch and see. So it goes, I was a member of the Parliamentary Security and Defense Committee, this guy named Bandawi, confirmed that the Parliament session has been disrupted recently, and particularly this month due to political disagreements. They note that some blocs had objections related to the popular mobilization forces. Of course, we all know that Nouri al-Maliki, he's one of the ex-prime minister from time back, is part of that. So there's a lot of reasoning because there's a lot of security, a lot of factions with weapons, all that kind of stuff. And that's on the table as far as I can tell, even today. So we'll see how that turns out. Bandawi goes on and says, the delay in holding the sessions prompted a group of the MPs to collect signatures demanding that they be held in order to complete the enactment of important laws. And they stress that most political blocs are moving towards resuming the sessions to read and vote on the laws. So there's just some that are not quite there, but yet there's most of them are, let's go, let's get this done. It says they're ready to vote on the laws given their direct impact on the citizens and pushing the government towards implementing its program. So it sounds like there's a big push on, like I said. Bandawi also stresses that there's a need to expedite the approval of the budget to complete strategic projects and ensure the implementation of development plans. There's certain things that you can get done. You can pay salaries, you can do certain things, whether they have or not, or they have to finance them, but they have the ability to keep the country running under the operational and the investment side of the budget. However, that there's only a portion of that can go from the operational and investment side, and it has to have a relationship to the citizens' needs. Other than that, larger projects, bigger stuff that will also help the citizens is part of what we're waiting for. There is a little bit of a difference, so be patient with that and understand that again, the Parliament, these guys are talking about pushing things to get things rolling as far as I'm concerned. Will the completed audited budget schedules for 2023 and 2024 budget tables get to them prior to salaries being paid at or around the same time that they do this? Time's going to tell. But it's all coming around. Again, we haven't heard anything about the oil running, right? It hasn't started through the Cyan port. Salaries, in other words, haven't been completely 100% sorted. The 23-24 budget schedules haven't been exposed, and they haven't gone to the Parliament yet. But now the Parliament's pushing for that to happen. So in other words, what are they waiting for? They're waiting for an exchange rate. That's how I see it. I don't know about you guys, but that's where I am in my view. Okay, so here's another one that I was going to go through. Bear with me just for a second. The Abu Rahif al-Jabri, if I can say that right, he discusses e-commerce concepts in keeping pace with the digital transformation. So that's all we've been hearing about is digital transformation. I mean, it's a global initiative. Again, I'm going to say this, it's not just about Iraq. They're going to go into a digital environment, which is a global environment of digital transformation. They're going to be using the best technology in the world and the fastest technology, the most transparent technology. And they talk about that. They're talking about the digital dinar. They keep telling you over and over. The central bank, everybody's been talking about the digital dinar. Even the IMF has something to say about digital currencies. And we'll get to that. But anyway, in brief, it says, Rahif stresses that the need to enhance coordination between the Communications and Media Commission and the Ministry of Commerce to ensure a safe and reliable digital environment and support digital transformation in the trade sector in line with global developments in this field. You know, I just have to, every time I see that, I just go, well, it's going to be a global event. It's not just about Iraq. I can't say it. But obviously, it's going to include Iraq in this global initiative that's happening. Basically, Iraq's internationalism has the world's attention, whether it's in our public news or in any other country's public news on a regular basis is not necessarily the question, but they are putting it out in the Middle East, and they're making the region known by their actions with what they're doing as far as their banking and finance and e-governance systems are working, and their completion rates, etc. The biggest investors in the world are going to be seeing what the actions are. They're going to see what the legislative part of it is, the judiciary, all that stuff. Is it all in place? And again, back to the single window. The single windows for wealthy entities, wealthy investors, 250 million or more. Not everybody in Iraq's got 250 million US dollars or better in equivalency to be able to do so. Okay, that's global. That's huge. So that's on the table, and then they're still talking about it. And here, the article, it starts off with Al-Sudani. The single window system and electronic automation are a strategic government project. So it's nothing new. It's been part of the plan for all this time. He's been around now for a little over 2 years, and the transformation that's taken place under his watch is nothing but amazing. It's stellar. If we all can't see it now, how far along they are in this process, in their own process, but it's also a global initiative that is so key and so important to understand that in a digital environment, it's going to be a global effect. It's not going to be just one central bank, two central banks, three central banks. It's highly likely it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 180 central banks. They talked about the sterilization. They talked about that sterilization, and that is specifically to defend their currency. Whether it's a devaluation or a revaluation, that's what the central banks are meant for. Iraq's taken her place back to where she was in the past. If you remember that we had those dollar auctions in the parallel market, we did that. It was like for 20 years almost that they did it. They didn't devoid themselves of doing that, but now they have. And that's why you see a lot of negative news, is because that cash cow is going to go away. And the fascinating thing is, it's just recently, there was a person that came out and basically called it the cash cow. And I'm like, wow, are they reading Militia Man and Crew? Because we've called it the cash cow on numerous occasions. But anyway, the Prime Minister Shia al-Sudani launched via video conference, and that was today, the implementation work on 4 projects for the Judicial Department complexes in the districts of Madain, Baghdad, Bakuba, and Diyala, Dujal, and Al-Salah ad-Din, and Jubaysh in Dakar. So they're talking about they have things already established, they've already built these things, and they're already ready to go. Al-Sudani points out that the importance of completing these projects according to the latest technologies, as I mentioned, and administrative standards, with the aim of providing a suitable environment for completing transactions without red tape. So he wants these people to come in fast and furious and have ease of use, okay? Especially since the Ministry of Justice and its departments in Baghdad and the governance receive thousands of citizens. He goes on and says, furthermore, the presence of the Real Estate Registration Department, the Notary Public, the Enforcement Directorate, Department of Minors Care, in one location will save effort and time for reviewers who suffer due to the dispersion of institutions in more than one location. So they're consolidating everything, and they've done this. Okay, so Al-Sudani, this is a big deal right here, because it's a reiteration of what he's already said, but he's focusing in on it again today. It says, Al-Sudani emphasizes that single window principle for completing transactions, that's money, everyone, which is linked to administrative reform, a government priority, and the importance of implementing the electronic automation project, as it will facilitate the completion of transactions electronically and reduce red tape. It is the ideal solution for combating administrative and financial corruption. He stresses that providing services smoothly to the citizens is one of the government's most important goals, especially in departments that have direct contact with those citizens, emphasizing the need for speedy completion, precision in their procedures to secure the citizens' legal rights, and raise the level of work in line with the government's directives. Realize that all the natural resources of Iraq are part of the legal rights of the citizens. So all that money, oil, wealth, everything is part of their rights. So anyway, it says the efforts made to facilitate procedures for the citizens in order to complete these transactions in various departments of the Ministry of Justice. Now we're talking about the legislative branch again, but they've already done all that. The implementing companies are obligated to implement these projects, so they now have an obligation to implement these projects in according to the planned schedules and designs and adhere to the specified time frames. So again, I use that term, the push is on, right? Okay. So he goes on here, it says there was 4 judicial departments. Complexes consist of several floors housing the real estate registration, judicial enforcement directorate, the notary public, and the minors care department. So these buildings were designed according to a single window system and adopt an electronic queue system. Okay, so these complexes were equipped with many different things: defense systems, modern cameras, telecommunication networks, communications, everything, providing the needs for the people and their special needs. So there's no doubt that Iraq is making her move to the international status. She has worked so hard for the last 2 years under al-Sudani's watch. Again, al-Sudani invokes a single window today. It's like, for why? Because it's a real thing, and they're really going to do exactly what they said they were going to do. Fascinating. You guys realize that what al-Sudani has done in the last 2 years we've never seen that. I don't care if you've been in this for 20 years, you haven't seen that. And I'm going to stick to this, is that it's probably highly likely that we might not see it today, but we will find out specifically that the process to complete this should have been done, it could have been 6 to 8 years ago. That was the plan, but they didn't do it. And we know that because they printed currency back then. Whether they use it or not, they might just burn the money, or just like they did a lot of money, right? Or they turned it into pellets and stuff. But again, they'll use a medium of exchange. I know it's going to be a digital world, and they want to go cashless, but all countries have a form of exchange. So they're probably still going to use some of those new small category notes that we've talked about in the past, but probably not on the level that we thought ever before. But anyway, what's going to support this? Because remember the digital dinar. We talked about the digital dinar. They have talked about it, and we have talked about the fact that they have talked about it. Okay? So yesterday, interestingly enough, we didn't find it first, but that's okay. The bottom line is that's not the point. The point is that if we find the information and it's relevant, then we bring it in. And if it's accurate, then let's talk about it. So the IMF integrates cryptocurrencies into the global economic reporting framework. Yeah, I might get a little blowback, and we're taking this from the dinar to cryptocurrencies, but it's not me doing that. It's now it's the IMF talking about it. So all you guys, you know what? Dig in, because you got it wrong. It's funny. Anyway, the International Monetary Fund has made a significant move by, and wait, you guys, just for fun, I'm not talking about us in Patreon in our Discord chat room. So that's that, just so you know. But anyway, International Monetary Fund has made a significant move by integrating cryptocurrencies into its global economic reporting framework, marking a pivotal moment in the evolution of global economic statistics. The IMF has updated its balance of payments manual, so they call it a BPM7, to include Bitcoin and other virtual currencies, acknowledging the increased role that the cryptocurrencies play in the digital economy and their potential impact on financial stability and economic growth. And so they go on and talk about a few currencies, right? They talk about Bitcoin, they talk about platforms like Ethereum and Solana, and they're categorized, and that's just some. They only talked about these two as equity holdings, okay? So yeah, again, it says other like crypto platforms like Ethereum, Solana, categorized as equity holdings. The classification provides a clear framework for nations to statistically classify and report on cryptocurrency transactions, ensuring greater transparency, consistency in global economic data. And I like this part. It says the updated manual will guide countries, so it's not just Iraq, it's countries, in accurately recording and analyzing the flow of digital assets across borders. Think digital dinar, everyone. It's that big, okay? It says, which is crucial for understanding the broader economic implication of cryptocurrencies. And then it goes on, the IMF decision to incorporate digital assets in its balance of payment standards is a response to the rapid growth and adoption of cryptocurrencies worldwide. So it's not just about Iraq. It's all about the world at large. And Iraq is just a component of that. I would say a very big component of that. So anyway, it says that a gentleman asked a question about how will the IMF's inclusion of cryptocurrencies in its global economic reporting framework impact the market on the economy? And I'm almost done, but it says, in addition to classifying cryptocurrency, the IMF's new model subcategorized them into fungible and non-fungible assets. Reserve-backed stablecoins are included under financial instruments, while staking, people may not know what that means, staking rewards for crypto's investors are treated as equivalent to equity dividends. So if you're mining and staking, right, what happens is that you're effectively creating something. And it's no different than earning interest, which can be considered, or something similar to dividends. You invest for a long period of time, then you get dividends. Or if you've invested in stocks, they pay out a percentage and you get shares, etc. So it's similar. Okay, that's all. I probably didn't do a very good job of that, but I'll be fair. It's a real thing, and so if the IMF has made this move to establish these global reporting standards for cryptocurrencies, it's expected, and it's to be expected to have far-reaching effects on how digital assets are perceived and regulated in the future. It says here, by providing a standardized framework for reporting cryptocurrency transactions, the IMF is paving the way for a more coherent and effective regulatory policies. And this could lead to increased adoption and integration of digital assets in mainstream financial systems, fostering innovation and economic growth. You guys, that's powerful coming from the IMF. It probably blindsided everybody yesterday. I know it did me. I just went, wow, that's like almost like showtime, game on, because of the digital world. If you guys go back into patreon.com and look up the Agora project, this isn't something new to us here at Militia Man and Crew /Patreon or militiaman.com. You guys can find that and even come into our Discord chat room and do some scrolling or do some searching properly. You're going to find that information to be true. It says the integration of cryptocurrency in the IMF's global economic reporting framework is a significant milestone in the evolution of digital assets. It underscores the IMF's commitment to staying at the forefront of economic developments and ensuring that its standards remain relevant in an ever-changing financial landscape. Right? No kidding. You're going to go to a cashless society in the Middle East? Really? That's a big move. It says, as cryptocurrencies continue to gain traction, the IMF's updated guidelines will play a crucial role in shaping the future of the global economic statistics and financial regulation. So basically, what are they telling us? Iraq is introducing the digital dinar. Are they not? Yes, they are. I think you all know that's true. I think if you've been with us for any length of time, it's obvious. And even if you haven't, and if you're just coming in, you can just do some research on your own. You're going to find that what we say is true. So this is what I have for you guys on this fascinating Monday. It's a sunny day. I hope everybody had a great one. And it's going to get a little warmer tomorrow, so I hope it's in the 70s. And it's going to be pleasurable for the whole country. So enjoy. And all of you around the world, thank you guys for your support, because I do get support from people all over the world. It's a blessing, and thank you very much. I appreciate that. And by the way, hit that like button and subscribe if you like our content. And thanks again for all your support, as you guys know where to find that. Thank you. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and have a great day.